Okay, and we're live. Welcome, everybody. If you'll drop in the chat where you're coming from, we'd love to know. And welcome to this Spark session. We've got 3 great speakers for you today, and they've got 8 minutes to spark your imagination with their little speech. So we're going to have James Warburton, Melissa Aristegi, and Ashley Thompson, one by one. Welcome. And we're going to get started now with James. Come on up.
Excellent. So I'm hoping you can all hear me. I want to start with a question, actually. How many of you have ever questioned whether you're intelligent enough, talented enough, skilled enough? And maybe you've thought that your achievements were down to simply luck, being in the right place at the right time. So if you've ever felt this way, it's likely that you've experienced imposter syndrome. And if you have, you're in very good company. The Journal of Behavioral Science suggests around 70% of us will experience imposter syndrome at some point during our life. And it's not just those of us on the call today. Some people who've achieved quite astounding things feel the same as we do. They feel like they don't deserve their success. They question their own ability. They worry whether they'll be found out. Just a few examples. Tom Hanks has said that no matter what he's done, he always thinks about how he got there. And when are people going to discover that he is, in fact, a fraud? Michelle Obama talks really openly about her imposter syndrome. It mentions that it doesn't go away. That feeling that she shouldn't be taken seriously, that people should just be questioning, what does she know? Who is she to be listened to? Albert Einstein felt exactly the same. He felt that the works that he did were so exaggerated in terms of their importance that he actually referred to himself as an involuntary swindler. And finally, Maya Angelou, even after writing 11 books and being given countless honorary degrees and achievements and awards, still felt like she was going to be found out, that people were going to realize that she didn't really deserve the success or know exactly what she was doing. Now, for me, sometimes knowing such great people have experienced similar feelings to me gives me some comfort, makes me feel a little bit better about it. But then occasionally I'll look at these people and think, these people have achieved so much, they're so wonderful, I don't fit in with them. I feel like I'm an imposter among people who feel like they're imposters. Now, I want to talk about how it affected me when it came to networking. Because I'm fortunate at the moment to be at a stage in my life where I've begun to understand myself a little bit more. I've had some fantastic mentors, some great colleagues who I've worked with who've really helped me on that journey. Now, I haven't been able to get rid of the imposter syndrome, but I've begun to realize what it is and I've been able to overcome it from time to time. And when it really got in my way, actually, was when I looked to start networking. So I'll tell you about the first time I ever went into a networking situation. I was relatively new to the world of learning development, and I'd seen an opportunity on LinkedIn to meet up in my local area with other people from this profession. The first time I saw this, I managed to give myself loads of different excuses. I was too busy with work, had other things on. I couldn't get to the venue on time to meet them all. But that wasn't really true. What was really happening there was I was just worried. The people there, I knew that people have been in learning development for a long time. They've been in the career for many years. And part of me was telling myself that I didn't belong there, that they'd have no reason to listen to me. I needed to be more experienced, more knowledgeable, more skilled before I could be taken seriously there. And at that point, I really realized that the way we talk to ourselves really, really matters. And that voice in my head was telling me, why should they listen to you? What changed between then and now? Well, not an awful lot really, but with a lot of reflection, I've begun to really realize what was different for me. And there are 3 things that I really want to share with you today, which made a difference for me. And it all came from reflection. The first thing was that I recognized where these feelings were coming from and what they were. I did a little bit of research around imposter syndrome, realized that I wasn't the only person that felt this way. Realized that it was down to some unhelpful thought patterns, and in general it was whenever I wanted to push myself outside of my comfort zone. Whenever I did want to push myself outside of that comfort zone, my inner critic would start speaking and his voice would get a little bit louder. Like I said, the question would always be there, why should they listen to you? But recognizing that really helped me to see that it was just one of the many voices that you could hear, one of the many things that your mind would say to yourself before you step outside your comfort zone. The next thing I thought about was ask myself why I got into learning development in the first place. And I didn't get into learning development for the accolades, for the awards, to be recognized or anything like that. I got into learning development because I wanted to help people. And really at this networking event, I think everyone else there will have got into learning development for the exact same reason. They weren't there to judge me. They weren't there to say whether I would fit in with their group, whether I was the right person to be there at the time, whether I was knowledgeable, skilled enough, talented enough. They wanted to help me, and they wanted to see how I could help them. And the final thing I did there was I reminded myself to say yes to opportunity. Too many times I would find excuses not to do things because they scared me, because it was outside of my comfort zone. And I needed to make sure I would take that first step. And that's all I really needed to do, was to take that first step. Because once I was in my room, once I got into that coffee shop, for example, I wasn't going to run back out. I wasn't going to leave at that stage. I just needed to make that first step to go over and say hi, to go over and talk to them, to get their ideas. So what happened then with the first networking events? Well, luckily, like I said, I had some great people around me who encouraged me to do the right things, encouraged me to reflect, encouraged me to look inwards and find out why I did certain things. So I went to this networking event, and I was still very awkward. I remember getting slightly tangled in one of the curtains there, I think, at the time. It took me a while to settle in, but I didn't regret it. And fast forward slightly a few years later, that same networking event that goes on every month, I'm not only a regular there, but I've now become one of the hosts, and I help to arrange these. And I see more and more people come each time that feel exactly the way I did the first time I was there. So, if I was to leave you with one thing to take away from this session, it is to say yes to opportunity. I think that's the biggest thing that I learned. And when it comes to stepping outside of my comfort zone, as with everyone else at this conference here today, this is the first time I've ever spoken at one of these things. And it won't surprise you to hear that my imposter syndrome kicked in as soon as I'd said yes to this, asking me, why should they listen to you? But I reminded myself that was just one of the voices in my head. The critic is there, and the critic is useful for me because it helps me perform. It helps me push myself to be better, but I shouldn't give it the loudest voice. As well as having that voice saying, why should people listen to me? There's another equally important one asking me, why shouldn't they listen to me? Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the next couple of talks.
Thank you, James. Thank you. And now we have Ashley Thompson coming up next. Are you ready, Ashley?
Yes.
Yay,
Let me get to share my screen. Okay. So thank you, everyone. So I'm going to be a little bit, hopefully you can see my screen if I can get a thumbs up because James is below me so I can see things. Okay, so networking. Mine is going to shock you a little bit because it's not about that traditional networking. It's about A, the collective around you, B, the power you can bring to that collective, but it's about empowerment and having the empowerment psyche that we need at times to be able to drive relationships, drive who we are, bring the best of what we can, and see where we can really hone in on the skills that we want to drive forward or what we need to do that. So my first question is, we all know that empowerment, people talk about empowerment, people talk about what it means, people talk truly about empowering others or empowering people in our organizations or through learning and development of others. But my main concern when I started creating this today was a little bit of where does it start? So I'm going to really, through this 8-minute, we're going to go in a fury and we're going to really try to have maybe a self-reflective moment that's going to be individual, but yet together. So let's see if this is going to be successful. So what's on the inside? When I think about empowerment, we have to truly look at ourselves, right? We have to look at what we can bring out to others. And it's starting here, starting with what's on the inside of each one of us. So I wanted to pose 3 questions today to drive us through a learning moment in reality. So let's see how we can progress. So the first question, and we're going to ask you to just put it in the chat, is what is empowerment for you? like you, focusing on what you are, what you do. What is empowerment look like for you personally? So I'm going to give a couple people a second to be able to respond. Also, my friends up here on stage, you're more than welcome to respond at any time if you so choose. So you can unmic. I'm very inclusive in that way. So feeling like you have a choice, being able to have the options is true. Also, we see a couple, knowing that you bring value. So true. Because for me, feeling confident in abilities, also knowing that I made impact, I like. And for me, empowerment was being able to bring my best self forward. And recently, I've been going through a huge revamping, Ashley 2.0, changing jobs, coming back to consulting, coming out of driving from a company where we furnished all of learning and development programs. And I started to think, what is empowerment for me really? Because I can't truly empower my team. It was a team of 5 until I felt empowered. So I felt, like James said before, a little bit of this imposter syndrome. So I was really challenged by the first thing I would actually do would help others instead of help myself. And is that so valuable for me? Is that really helping them to develop more themselves, or me showing what it should be to be empowered to the people that I have around me? So that leads us, and there's a couple other, feel like I can do anything, no boundaries. See, that's great. Feeling that I know what I'm doing and can give value to others. So the point is, I truly had to funnel down and identify, where are you giving your power away? Now think about you. So when I told you before, I had a team of 5, I was talking the talk, but I wasn't walking the walk. So for me, I was having a moment of, I would burn myself alive for my team. But for me, I wasn't bringing the best of me. I didn't have the ability to say no because I was a yes woman, too much yes woman. I didn't have the ability to set boundaries that I knew could really help me be a better leader and also be a better person in general. So what for you? And I see that nobody's answering yet, because this is the self-reflective moment that people are stuck on. And this is the growing period. So think about you. Where are you giving your power away? And I'll let people kind of just think about that for a second. So as I said, I tried to gain my power back by revamp 2.0. Doesn't mean quit your job like I did, because maybe a little bit thing, or time, being able to set, in sense of you not having boundaries, somebody said before, but also setting boundaries, that work-life balance, work, not always standing firm in your beliefs. And this one, Lisa, I just want to say, how many times are we not speaking up, standing up, stepping out when we see that something's not true to what we believe in or what's happening to others? So Linnea, is I give my power away when I feel like I need to please the people pleaser. Oh, huge. And a couple other ones is, so not always standing firm. So this is where I wanted people to, Jennifer, we'll discuss that later. I'm excited. Everything, it's about stepping out of the comfort zone. We're in major going. So I wanted to really frame this in a moment with a video. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, because I found that through this giving my power away, what is that an effect of? So I've chosen a video for everyone, and I hope you can hear it. So I'm going to probably ask James to give me a thumbs up.
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll arise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, You can cut me with your lies. You can kill me with your hatefulness. But just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the huts of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain, I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
Okay, and I see that Laura's coming on, so we're probably linked on time, but I just want to close, and I wasn't able to get to my third question, but the aspect of giving our power away is what action can we take to bring back our power? So this is what you need to really reflect on. Laura?
Have your third question.
Okay, so now people, let's bring it to a closure. So what can you do? What action can you take to get your power back and to get some power that you have been giving away, giving to others, not focusing on? What will help you rise? And that was lovely Maya Angelou, which is amazing if you've never heard the poet, but and amazing for a person to put in context what we truly can bring to a situation. So those three questions is more of where you're at, where have you been giving your power, and what can you do to take it back? So either take it back or formulate it in a new burst of energy. So everybody respond. And if you don't, just think of this progression, where you are, what you need to not let others take from you or give away, and what you need to regain. So the empowerment psyche, of course, psyche, mind, body, and soul. Laura, am I still on time? Are we good? Being comfortable, being uncomfortable?
You're good. Yep.
Okay. So I hope everybody just enjoyed a moment to think, a little self-awareness, networking, maybe not so much, but we'll be better and stronger in the collective. Anyway, thank you.
Great job. Thank you so much, Ashley. Thank you to all our speakers. And do we have any questions from the audience for our speakers today? Anything to wrap up? Anything you meant to ask during? We'll give you about a minute to type in your question, and if nothing comes through, then we'll end our session.
Yeah, we should play that little beanie, nee, 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 ding, ding, nee. Sorry, James, it's a reference to like a major American classic.
Exactly.
But if anybody has any questions, so.
Okay. I think that I'm not seeing any questions come through yet. We still have about another 30 seconds. You got another song?
No, I'm such the singer. No, but I could go back and finish up the Maya Angelou. She has a million things I could watch. So
I don't think we have time for more video, but
people can emoji.
Mm-hmm.
You out there, people?
Yeah, they did. They gave lots and lots of claps.
There we go. They were like, I've got a heartbeat. Okay. I got a heartbeat.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up this session. You guys were fantastic. You were a great audience. Thanks for participating. And we'll see you in the next session. Bye.
Thank you.